when I was asked to speak, I thought, I'm a private citizen. I have no opinion that I would share on your politics and how you run your country. I hope I have something to share of value today. And as I've been thinking about the last few days, I think the best thing that I can maybe share with you is on the media. First of all, let me apologize for not wearing a tie. I know you're all wearing a tie, but I left mine, I think, in Poland. And I was worried about it today until I bumped into your Vice Prime Minister, and he was in short sleeves, and I thought,
But we have few vice. I think you meant the vice.
Yes.
We have few vices.
And he was wearing short sleeves, and I thought I could wear a bathing suit here. This is a great thing. The media has changed, and I think the members of the press, if they don't know it, they're about to be very surprised. The media as we know it, politics as we know it, is over. It is going to change, and my message to you today is to think out of the box. And the way to think out of the box is to tell the truth. Whether you are in the media or you're in politics, you're in business, it doesn't matter. Just tell the truth. We have created a system in the last 100 years or so, maybe longer, of politicians and people afraid to tell the truth, and then running through focus groups and telling people what they think they want to hear. The world wants to hear the truth, period. They all know it. In their gut, they know it. There is something called the normalcy bias, which is when the planes flew into the World Trade Center, people sat at their desk. A jetliner flew into not one building, but two. And they still sat at their desk. When they left, some of them went back to turn their lights off or turn their computers off, thinking they were going to come back. That's the normalcy bias, and it gets you killed. If you went back to turn off your lights, you died in that building. I'm sorry, but a jetliner is not normal. But when something is so out of whack, people look for anything that makes sense. And they say, no, I know right where I am. It's a human trait. And humans right now see destruction on the way. Massive change, either good or bad, massive change. And it frightens them. But if you just tell them the truth and say, we're going to make it, they will listen, and they will come running. I have been a strong supporter of Israel for quite a long time, and it is deepened since September 11th. I was a typical schlub American that, I really didn't know what was going on in the world, and I was cool. As long as I had NASCAR on TV, I was fine. And the Middle East always seemed like it's been going on for thousands of years. What are we going to do? What am I going to do? Please. So, didn't pay attention. But I started my national radio program 4 days after September 11th. It was already under contract. It was supposed to start 4 months later, but 9/11 happened and I had to start. And I went on the air and I told my audience, I don't have any answers for you. I don't know. But I promised them at that time I would find out. I would do my homework. I traveled here the first time in 2002, and I'll never forget my wife said, because in America, the media is so skewed on Israel. Honestly, I thought you could only cook your food over a burning bus. I mean, I thought it was out of control here, because that's what the media shows the rest of the world. And my wife, in a touching, very touching way, but now looking back, we laugh at it because it's so ridiculous. She said, if you're going to go, we're going together. We'll go down together. And we're all teary-eyed. Yes. Then we got here, we're like, Wow, great hummus, huh? We came and we looked for the truth. And I got my first death threat because when I came back I said, here's the truth. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict at the ruling class is about the destruction of Israel and about the end of the Western way of life. Period. That's what it is. Now, on the streets, I happen to be, I don't know a lot of Palestinians, but I also don't know a lot of Jewish people either. I don't really classify people that way. They're just people. And I think people are the same. People are people. I personally don't think Palestinians and Jews and Americans and whatever are all that different. We all want to pretty much be left alone, raise our kids, let me eat, let me watch a little TV, let me watch, I don't know, Saudi Arabian Idol or whatever it is, and just live my life. That's what people want to do. Rulers want to control. And that's where our trouble gets in. Because there are people that want to control. And now is their time, especially because the world is about to go into chaos. As I have walked around the streets, this is the second time this year I've been back, and I am truly, truly humbled and disturbed by what people say to me on the streets. They will stop me, and I have never felt anything like it. I've never felt anything like it. People will come to me on the streets and they will sincerely thank me for saying the truth. They will sincerely look at me, and I get the feeling that they're wide awake and they know what's happening and they know what's coming in the world, and they sincerely, I had a guy say to me, you want to live here, you ever have trouble, you come, you take my house. And I wanted to say, can I see it first? But he meant it sincerely. And what's disturbing about it is if a guy just gets on television or radio and says the truth, if that's so unusual, Israel and the Western way of life is in grave, grave danger. So, how do we solve it? I suggest, I don't know if anybody, and we had a debate here, if anybody had ever seen the movie War Games with Matthew Broderick. Okay. In a nutshell, it's a really stupid movie where I hope it is that somehow or another somebody could hack into the Pentagon's computers, and this kid hacked into it and started playing a war game with the Pentagon's computers. And I hope, again, this I don't think is a true story, and it was going to launch a nuclear war. In a nutshell, the end of the movie is the computer has to be taught, don't play the game. When it's mutually assured destruction, spit yourself out of the system. Don't play the game. That's my message to you today. Stop playing the game. The media, I honestly, 5 years ago, when I started in television, I honestly thought, oh, well, I see what's really going on here. All I need to do is just prove it. I need to get the videotape with them in their own words saying these things. I need to get the documents. I need to have evidence that all of this stuff, if I can build a case, the people in the media will say, oh, that's what's going on. We didn't see it. What a dummy I was. They won't. Now, I was left with a question in the last year and a half or so. Well, why not? And I tried to figure it out. And you know what? I realized it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Stop playing the game and spit yourself out of the system. And we are being set up as a people. Israel is being set up. Israel is going to be, believe me, where the world is going to be so close to peace. So close to peace. We had all of the real peace lovers together. And in the end, if Israel just would have given it up, that's going to be the excuse. And America is being set up as well, and we're helping. We're going to be blamed because all it's going to take is an event event for you and an event for us. Our event is the economy. When our economy, America, catches a cold, or we sneeze, the rest of the world catches a cold, we've got pneumonia, gang. So look out. And we will be blamed for it. So the great Satan and the little Satan, we're on the ropes. We're on the ropes. So what do? We tell the truth. We live our lives with honor and integrity. We do everything we can to clear out all the crap in our life. And then we have courage. There are only few things that I actually know. One, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is about destruction of Israel in the West. Two, anti-Semitism is about to go through the roof. It always does. When these conditions appear, it's always the Jews' fault. Always. It's not about, as I have unfortunately learned, it is not about the Holocaust. The Holocaust is just the latest in a string of events for thousands of years. It's just the one that they made a movie about. It is about remember that, and let's start at 175 BC. It happens the same way every time. It's happening in Europe, and the seeds are being planted everywhere. 3, the world's about to change, so think differently. Everything you thought you could count on, forget about it. Create new systems and new connections. Remember, somebody said to me the other day, nobody wants to hear our message. Nobody wants to hear our message. That's not true. You're looking at it the wrong way. Nobody wants to tell your message. The people whose ears are available aren't hearing it. It's not that they don't want to. Nobody's telling that story. So how are you going to change the media? Forget I said this media. Forget those guys. Go directly
to get out the room.
Go directly to the people. Remember, the world is being changed by, honestly, a few guys that haven't had a date who are sitting in their mom's basement in their underpants on the internet. The world is changing. People have the power to communicate unlike any other time in all of human history. The 4th thing I know is the truth shall set you free. This August, and I am asking for your help on spreading the word. This August, I honestly thought when it came to me, it was my Abrahamic moment where, God really didn't really want me to do that. It was like, okay, will you go do this? And I really thought at some point, if I kept saying, yeah, he'd say, okay, I was kidding. You don't have to do that. I don't know how many people will come. It may be me, and it may just be my family. I don't know. It could be the biggest event in the world, which I highly doubt. It could be the smallest event in the entire world, which I also doubt. But on the 24th of August, I am doing an event called Restoring Courage. And it is not for courage here in Israel. You've got plenty. I told my wife last night, I'm not really looking forward to going home. And the reason why is, while I hear people here say all the time, oh, there's so many Israelis asleep. Are you kidding me? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody's wide awake compared to the rest of the world. I am tired of being places where I'm like, no, really, guys, wake up. You guys are awake. You don't need the message of courage. But what I do believe that Israelis may like to hear and may like to see is that you're not alone. There are millions of people that you don't see because the media doesn't want to tell their story either. That you are not alone. When I was in Idaho, July 4th, which was last Saturday, our Independence Day, I've never seen this. In Idaho, Idaho is milk toast, golly gee, USA. I don't know. I don't know how many Jewish people live in Idaho. And if they saw fiddlers on the roof, that's probably their Israeli experience. When I was giving a speech in Idaho on July 4th, I said, we have to be people that know what is true, and we have to be people of courage, and we have to stand. I saw something when I said that I had never seen before in America on the 4th of July. Never. 2 Israeli flags came up out of the audience. Big. I don't know where they got them. But 2 big Israeli flags came out of that crowd.
You didn't pay them.
I didn't pay them. Although I should pay the guy with the crane outside.
Actually, you did. We were not asking to speak afterwards.
People are standing. There are millions of people all around the world. We have put together this event at the Davidson Center, at the steps, I really believe it's time to go back to the original seat of power and say, we get it, and we're here. We have put together something that is a message for Israel, and it is coming so far. We have 70 political representatives from England, Australia, Norway, Germany, Ireland, South Korea, and many others. We have people attending from over 100 countries so far, including Bahrain. We have 4 presidential candidates that have confirmed coming from the United States. There are over 700 remote viewing parties all around the world. What I've done is I've asked people, will you stand with Israel? And if you will you go out of your comfort zone? If you're in a synagogue, will you reach to a Catholic church? If you're in a church, will you reach to the Jewish Community Center? Something that pushes you. And said, will you watch this with me? Because we can't afford to go to Israel. Will you watch this with me? And then afterwards, we shut it off and we talk and we eat. And we get to know each other. 700 viewing parties around the world. It is not political. There are people from the left and the right that are just coming together. The solution will be found with the people. The solution will be found here. I knew I had no choice but to come to Israel and stand. It was probably January or February when I read Esther and Ruth. Esther and Ruth. Go ahead. You don't have to do it, but you're in the position to do it. But somebody else will do it if you don't. And that's the message of Esther, for me at least. And Ruth. I invite the people of Israel to come and stand with people from all over the world. Hear the people of the world say, where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people are my people. Your God is my God. Where you die, I will die. And there shall I be buried. That is the message I bring you from the people I know. I am not a representative of the people. The people I know and my family. You are not alone. Come stand with people that want you to know that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Glenn. I know in your show